Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ambitious Women Entrepreneurs. I'm so glad to have you here today. And in this interview, Wendy Pickett Monolias and I will just discuss how getting to know yourself better at your core level is your superpower. And if you want to know how to learn how to control your thoughts and emotions, how to have confidence and have a thriving business, how to find what you are passionate about, you are going to be in for a great big treat today. Wendy Pickett Monolias is a personal mastery and business coach and is an expert in the big three foundations of having a successful online business. And her accomplishments include coming from soul crushing low self confidence, surviving abuse, quitting her corporate job, owning multiple businesses, buying a home of her dreams in the forests of Northern California. So she has a lot to talk about today, and I'm so excited for this interview. Welcome, Wendy.
Thank you, Andrea. It's so nice to be here, and thank you for allowing me to be in front of your audience. I hope I'm going to give them some amazing tools to help them in their business today.
I'm sure you will. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your unicorn brain to start with?
My unicorn brain. Well, I'll start with the unicorn brain, which is just kind of a funny way of saying it. Being a unicorn means that you're unique. And most of us tend to be either heavily on the right brain or the left brain, either be more artistic or be analytical. I am very unique in that every test that I have ever taken puts me like smack dab in the middle. So I am equally artistic and creative, and I'm and analytic as well. I'm an artist, a musician, and write poetry, and yet I study neuroplasticity and brain science. So
Wow.
there's that unicorn brain.
Yeah.
Um, as far as my background, this truly is the reason why I do what I do, and it comes from never being good enough, never feeling like I was good enough as I was growing up with two genius parents. And I do joke and say it skipped a level, the genius part, because I know for a fact my son is a genius, annoying but a genius. But and then I went into a 20-year marriage, and that just perpetuated and kept going that way to finally to the point where my soul was truly crushed. I thought that I was ugly. I thought that I was stupid. I didn't think that I could do anything. And it got to the point where I heard my daughter say, "Oh, he's treating you the way he's treating me." And I don't know what it is, but we'll allow people to treat us poorly, but when they start treating our kids like that, we're done. We're done. Mama bear comes out. So
Definitely.
I decided to leave that relationship. However, my confidence was so low that my own mother didn't think I should leave because she wasn't sure I'd be able to care for myself.
Oh, wow.
They didn't see what was going on behind the scenes. So to be fair. So went from there and not only survived, but thrived. I mean, I became an admin. I was an admin for an accounting firm for 9 years. I taught myself how to invest in real estate, started buying and selling properties in other states, was able to actually decided I needed to get a job because it wasn't enough income and I didn't have the insurance. So I became the senior admin for the real estate division of a $64 billion company.
Wow.
I left that job and sold my house, moved away, and I bought this home, which is in the redwoods of Northern California. And I knew that I wanted to be that person to help lift other women up along their journeys because I didn't have anybody when I was there. And I wanted to become that person. And the best way that I could decide how I was going to do that was to use this unicorn brain of mine and to be able to help women who are new coaches, new entrepreneurs online, and help them set foundational business strategies for their business so that they can succeed and then find happiness through self-mastery techniques.
Wow, I love that. That's so great. How did you get started with your business? What made you decide to do this?
Well, I could do a regular day job up here. Jobs don't pay as much up here, not near as much as they do down in the cities. But
Yeah.
I just knew, I felt like I absolutely had to do this. There was no other choice. Now, making money at it is something completely different. That was a journey and something that I hope to help your followers so that they don't have to struggle as much as I did. Would you like to know a little bit about what I focus on when I help people?
Sure.
So there are the three big foundational aspects of your business. And I would say I don't know if I want to say it's the most important, but it's definitely number one, the one thing that you should figure out first. And it is something called a niche. You've probably heard about it. It means, who are your clients? Now, I bet a lot of you are like I was and say, I can help everybody, because when we are taught coaching, we are given the techniques on how to coach just about anybody.
Yeah.
And really, it will work. I could help anybody in just about any profession using the techniques that I learned to become a coach. However, as a business strategy, it's terrible, because how many coaches are there out there online? There's
Million.
so many of them.
Yeah.
Now, what is going to make you in the top 3% to where you're actually going to be making good money at being a coach is to specialize. And when I mean specialize, that doesn't mean that I help everybody. I'll give you an example. One woman I helped is a health coach, and she didn't have a real clear niche. She's like, I just want to help people. Well, she had been a personal trainer and had been actually working with the older population.
Mm.
So to narrow it down, she was going to be working, excuse me, with the older population, but not just in helping them get healthy. She was going to be helping people who had lost their mobility. Now
Oh,
think about that. They end up in their chairs, they're watching their shows, and they end up to where they can't move, or it's very
yeah.
difficult for them to actually take care of themselves because they just allow themselves to get slowly worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
So since she has this very unique and very specialized area, she is going to be considered the trusted authority in this field. And she's going to get clients where the thousands or millions of health coaches out there are going to be struggling. Does that make sense?
Wow. Yeah, that totally makes sense. That's really, really good. Yeah.
So I will, it seems like it would be an easy thing to do, but it isn't as simple as deciding who you can help, as much as specializing. And then not only that, but truly knowing that it is right for you. There's I've got so much experience. I could help people, so many different people, and trying to decide who it is that I wanted to do. I kind of would pick things that I thought, well, this one will make me money. And then I thought, "Oh, it just doesn't feel right. It
Yeah.
isn't setting right, with my heart, my soul in here." So that's part of finding your niche. And
Yeah.
that is number one. Then what you do is, once you have created your niche, then you can create what I call a BAM statement. And it is BAM. They understand that you are talking to them. And if you have something they need, they understand that you're talking to them.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, I help people get healthy. Well, you know what? We could all get healthy if we would just stop eating so much and if we moved more, right? No,
Right.
they need to know how specifically you're going to help them.
Yeah.
So my BAM statement is, I help new entrepreneurs and coaches end overwhelm and find happiness through foundational business strategies and self-mastery techniques. So that's my BAM statement. If somebody is feeling overwhelmed, they're a new coach, they're feeling overwhelmed, and they need help with their business so that they're going to become a success, and they're going to feel better because maybe they just feel crummy because things aren't working out. They keep working and working and working and not getting anything to show for it. They're
Yeah.
going to know that I'm the person that they need to talk to.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that comes after that are the strategies of what you do to get in front of the right people. Because you can go out there and you can talk to anybody, but it reminds me of I had a dance instructor. So this girl with the low confidence, she became a belly dancer at one point.
Oh, wow.
Who would have thought? But my dance teacher, she said, if you want peaches, don't go into a hardware store to buy them. And she wasn't a coach. She didn't have anything to do with that. But how good is that for us, right?
Yeah, that's
That totally explains where it is what we're doing.
totally.
So this includes who you're going to you're going to understand your perfect client. So if your perfect client is a woman in her 60s who owns a pug dog and likes to dress it up, you're going to know where to find her. You're actually, when you do Facebook marketing, a lot of people don't understand it's very, very hard. And I really recommend that you don't dive into spending money on Facebook right away, because you can lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, you're going to need to have some finances, because it's an algorithm. You need to teach the computer how to help you, and it costs money and it takes time. And I didn't need to go down that road, but so
No.
it's getting in front of the right people.
Yeah, definitely. That's really valuable information. So are those the big three foundations that you talk about?
Those are definitely the big three.
Okay.
Yeah. And, there is so much more. But those, if you can get those three things for your business, you are going to be far ahead of any of your competition.
Yeah.
And, you mentioned about how being yourself was so important, being authentic. Now, why is this important? Well, first of all, what we typically do as a human species is we want to be accepted. We want to be loved. We want to be liked, all of those things, right?
Yeah.
And what do? Well, we try and change ourselves. We try and do what makes other people happy because we want them to be happy and to love us.
Yeah.
Well, in the process of doing that, we become less. We become less us because we are changing ourselves to make everybody else happy and
Yeah.
comfortable. Well, what's going to happen is they're going to realize we're not being authentic, and they're just not going to like us anyway because it looks like we're being fake. And what's going to happen to us? We're going to be miserable because we're not going to be us. We're not going to be naturally us and authentically us.
That's very
And
true.
this is also why listening to other people tell you what you should do can be it can kill your mojo. It really can. Now, two people, I'm going to dive into some of this fun brain science stuff. I'm going to go over to that part of my brain to dig this stuff out.
Go for it. I love it.
Everybody is who they are because of all of their experiences. And they see the world through their own lens based on their experiences. In a court of law, you can have two people who have seen the same crime, the same event. And when they tell what they saw, it can be two completely different stories because they are seeing it through their lens.
Yeah.
Well, this happens for all of us. This is why I believe that no coach, nobody should ever tell you what you should do. I had somebody tell me people should stop shooting on each other, and it cracks me up. And I'm like, yep, because nobody has lived your life. Nobody has had the experiences that you've had. And nobody has, each time you see something, for instance, if you see a dog in your subconscious is going to go to all the other times you've been around dogs. And if you've had good experiences with them, you're going to go, oh, hey, puppy, come here. But if you've had bad experiences, you're going to be backed off. You're going to be tense. You're going to be stressed out.
Yeah.
It's still the same dog. So it's the old acronym, you do you and I do me, right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
But it's so important that when you are building your business, that you are authentically you, but maybe not the discombobulated all over the place you. This is where you have somebody like me that helps focus your best, the best of you, so that you can be the best for your clients.
Yeah, totally. I totally believe in that. I think it's really important to be authentic. Yeah.
It certainly is. And then also um, self-mastery. So what is self-mastery? This is learning how to use this brain that you've been gifted with. You know what? We've got a user's manual for our car. I do. I've got a user's manual for my smoke alarm, actually. It's like how to do it, how to put it in, check the batteries, all of that. User's manuals for everything, our cell phones, our computers. But nobody gave us a user's manual for our brain. This is either your most valuable asset or it is your worst enemy. So to understand how it works and to make it work for you is, again, going to put you in the top 3%. Because one of the things that I've seen with new entrepreneurs and coaches, and truly with everybody, is we're all going to face fearful situations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like, oh dear God, I've got to learn another software program. And I love software. Don't get me wrong. I'm the tech girl. And but there are times when I am trying to learn yet another new program, and I feel like I'm being choked. Now, let me explain that. Our brain's purpose is to keep us safe. And if we do anything that is out of the ordinary, our brain perceives this as a potential threat. It could be potentially dangerous. And that word potential is really important here, because how about doing a Facebook Live? Getting on camera. Anybody raise your hand out there. Press like, tell us in the comments what you feel like when you go on live, right?
Right.
And if you've had challenges with that. Well, I know I was. My camera was shaking because I was shaking. And I was petrified that I was going to look a fool. I was going to look stupid. I was not going to be able to get the information out of my mouth, which still happens occasionally, I have to admit. But the reason is it was new. My brain thought it was new. Now, what happens is your brain actually switches into fight or flight when you are doing something that it considers potentially dangerous. And something as simple as this, asking your boss for a raise, talking to a client, trying to close a client on a sale. All of these things are new. You could potentially hurt yourself. Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. That's what your brain's telling you.
Yeah.
And when you go into fight or flight, it switches you from your higher thought process down to fight or flight. And that becomes more of a visceral body experience. Think about it. When you're afraid, you're breathing fast, right? Your hands may sweat. You may start to sweat. Your muscles get tense. Anybody get tense next? Type yes in the comments. reaction,
Yeah.
right? And so what happens is you are ready to fight or you're ready to run away, but you're not thinking clearly. So how's that going to work for you? Not really good.
Yeah.
So you need to understand that you're in fight or flight mode versus in higher thinking. So how do you do that? Well, you find out what your tell is. Your tell is like, if you ever heard of that when somebody is cheating at poker. I just remember seeing this in the old movies, and you could tell like they would like touch their face or something, right? And you could say, okay, well they're cheating or they're lying or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, my body, the way that it handles this fight or flight reflex is, I mentioned my throat. It feels like I'm being choked. Why this is good for me is when I start to feel that, I go, oh, I'm in fight or flight. And what do I need to do? I need to get back to my higher thinking. And how do I do that? Well, one of the things that happens is our digestion starts to slow down. See, I told you I'm a nerd. I know all this stuff. And when our digestion slows down, like we get gurgly tummies and things of that nature. Well, if you were to get a mint or a piece of gum and were to suck on that mint or chew the gum, your brain thinks you're eating. And since you won't stop to have like a ham sandwich when you're being chased by a robber, your brain says, oh, we're not in danger. We're okay. And it will switch you back to your higher thinking.
Oh.
Another trick is to breathe deep, slow breaths. Because do you breathe fast when you're afraid? Yeah. Do you breathe slow when you're not? Yeah. Again, you can trick your brain. Now, if you don't think your brain believes you and your words, what you say, and believes what it is seeing in front of it, let me ask you, have you ever watched a TV show and gotten really ticked off at somebody on screen, or you were crying?
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't real, folks. These are actors. You know this,
Yeah.
but your brain doesn't. How weird is that?
Oh, that's weird.
So if you're telling yourself, I'm stupid, I can't believe I forgot that. What an idiot. Your brain is believing you. These are self-mastery techniques. How powerful would it be for you to be able to ditch the fear and do whatever it is, what you believe is right anyway?
Yeah.
Huge, right?
Right. Huge. Yeah.
So if you want to know what your tell is, I'm going to give you an exercise. You're going to think I'm silly, and that's okay.
No.
So, I want you to, not right now, but afterwards, when you go into the bathroom, I want you to turn your toilet paper the other way from what it is. I mean, if it's over, I want it to go under. If it's under, I want it to go over. And I know there's people out there probably typing in, no. Now, what's going to happen is when you go sit down to take care of things, you're going to see that and your brain is going to hate it. It's going to rebel. It's going to take everything you've got not to immediately turn it around, but I want you to resist. I want you to pay attention to your body at that point. When you are feeling that angst over that wrongly rolled toilet paper, where is it in your body? And when you can realize what happens to your body when you are in that fight or flight, because the toilet paper is going to kill you if you don't turn it over. No, it's not. But this is going to help you everywhere else. And then this is going to be even harder. Leave it like that. Tell your family to leave it like that, because guess what? They're going to all be upset about this too. So maybe do it in your own personal bathroom. Don't want to tick off the whole family. But leave it like that for a week. And you will start to notice it will get slightly easier each time. This is because it's becoming something normal, and your brain isn't worried about normal. How
Okay.
fun is that?
That is fun. Yeah, that's a really good idea. That will drive me crazy at first.
Right? Right? I know, I know.
But I'll do it. I'll try it.
Okay, okay.
I'll let you know how it goes.
So there's a little bit about business foundation and a little bit about self-mastery and my strange unicorn brain and yeah.
Very interesting. So interesting. Can you tell us about how you find your passion and joy, and how do you recommend doing that?
Well, so this is something people understand. They go, okay, coaching, this is what I'm going to do. And actually, this is a great business to be in right now, is coaching. Um, well, it's something that makes you feel, makes you feel deeply. This can be something that attracts you, that is just so interesting to you that you just want to do more of it, kind of like me in the brain science, right?
Yeah.
Or conversely, it can also be something that repels you, something that you see there is a need for, and you are upset about it.
Mm.
I talked to a client who was she wants to have a homeschooling help homeschooling parents because she sees the struggle. The struggle is real. We've
Yeah.
seen some of the funny videos, but you know what? The reality behind that is there's a lot of going on back there with
Yeah.
parents trying to live their own lives, run their own business, working from home, and trying to make sure that these little balls of energy are getting what it is that they need.
Yeah. That's very true. Yeah.
So
A lot of
find
people.
something that attracts you, or something that you want to fix in the world or fix for people. Maybe somebody you care about is struggling with something. Maybe it's somebody, I mean, these are just random ideas. Maybe you've got a family member or somebody you care about who's got some mental illness. And there's a coaching group that would be associated with that could help the family of somebody who has a mental illness. You see how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Can you tell us about some of your interactions with nature?
That was funny. You asked me that question before our meeting. You asked me something that somebody would unexpect. Okay, so just for fun, I live in the forest. We didn't have all this stuff. We didn't have bears down in Southern California. Yeah, I nobody ever told me that you're supposed to keep your garbage in the garage. So I've had my garbage just after I clean my shredder, as a matter of fact, all over my
Oh my gosh.
um, I have come face to face with a snarling bear,
Oh wow.
and my dog was between me and it. Excuse me. And I was with my neighbor at the time, and she ran and screamed and ran away. And I thought, I don't think you're supposed to do that. It's like in my mind's eye, I'm like going, yeah, I don't think you're supposed to do that. No, it didn't take that long. I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to do that. And I ran. She ran, I ran. But we've had a bear here came last year, and my dog would chase it off, and it would go around the property, and then it would come back the other way because I didn't know bears like birdseed. So, we've got lots of birdseed out there. So I mean bear seed. And they also like to take baths in our pond.
Oh my gosh.
And I found we've got giant. I don't know if you see my hand. Yeah, giant salamanders here. I
Oh,
found one in the path the other day and picked it up. And there's that kind of unicorn brain again. It's like, oh, look, a giant lizard. We must touch it. Uh, but I guess it follows suit because as a kid, I used to help my brother milk rattlesnakes for their venom.
oh my goodness.
So before we end, I want to make sure that I've got a present for your followers. Can I tell you what it is?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I told you, tech it's kind of like been the bane and also the joy of our existence. It is what it is, right? There are automation systems and stuff that make our life so much easier. I want to give you a list of all the tech that I'm using. Well, there's one that I'm not, but I'll tell you about it. All the tech that I'm using, except for that one, with it tells you what the tech is good for, what I'm using it for, and there's going to be links there that you can use so that you can get it for yourself. And many of these things are free. So
Awesome.
you don't need to have everything, but there's going to be some that are going to be truly, truly helpful.
Yeah.
And if you want that, I'm going to put this in the chat right now.
Okay.
So text list to 707-574-7200. All right. That is 707-574-7200. Text list. And if you want it, you can say, I want it in the chat too. All right. And then if I can be of service to you in any way, if you'd like to have a conversation with me to see about getting into the program that I have to help new coaches and entrepreneurs, where not only am I going to help you with those big three, but I'm going to help you create three offers: your lead magnet, your low offer, your high offer, your high end offer. I'm going to help you with your like a 14-day launch Facebook campaign. And we will do all of that. And along the way, we're also going to work on your self mastery and increasing your confidence and all the other questions that you have with business. You would have me to be able to give you those answers and help you work through those things without going out of your mind, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That sounds
So thank you. Thank you. If you would like to do that, I'm going to say, well, let's see. I'm just going to say, okay, here we go. You're going to text Willow to that very, very same number, and that's 707-574-7200. If you text Willow to that number, it's going to put you right in my calendar, and then we can talk. I can find out where you're at. I'm going to help you. We'll go through the niche right then and there. You won't have to pay me a dime. Let's talk about it. Let's get it as narrow as we can. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what it is I do. And you can decide if I'm somebody who can help you. That is, if I have time on my calendar and if I have time to be able to accept new clients. I'm not sure when this is going to air. So,
yeah.
Get in there when you can.
Sounds amazing. Thank you so much for coming today, Wendy. It's been amazing talking to you. I appreciate you sharing everything with us.
Oh, thank you so very much. I'm very grateful. I'm very honored to be here. And I've got to tell you guys, you're going to get to a point in your business and you can't do it all. You just can't. And you're going to find yourself trying to, and it's going to dilute your business down to where you're not going to be effective. And that is when you are going to really need a quality virtual assistant. So make sure that you've got this woman's information so that when you need it, you've got it. If you need it now, contact her. She's going to do you right.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's been so nice to talk to you.
Thank you so very much.
Okay. Have a great night.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.